Ever wondered what happens inside the magical walls where KitKats are born? Is it a world of waterfalls pouring out melted chocolate? Maybe Oompa Loompas, all decked out in Nestle aprons, perfecting that iconic crunch? I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm here to let you in on a little secret. It's even better than Willy Wonka's factory. Today, we're journeying behind the scenes to uncover the crispy, chocolatey process that's been creating KitKats for generations. And believe it or not, every KitKat you've ever eaten might have a spooky little secret ingredient. What is it? Prepare for molten chocolate, gigantic mixers, and a wafer-making process that might just blow your mind. To really appreciate the KitKat process, let's rewind for a moment, all the way back to 1935. It was a time when people were craving a portable, chocolatey treat that they could enjoy with their tea. Meet Rowntree's Chocolate Crisp, the original name for KitKat, which debuted in England. That's right, KitKat wasn't always KitKat, but it wasn't long before this crispy chocolate sensation became a hit, and in 1937, it was rebranded as the KitKat we know today. Since then, it's gone global and has been produced in a mind-boggling range of flavors, from matcha to mango to wasabi. All right, let's get into it. The first ingredient that sets KitKat apart is the wafer, and not just any wafer. These are precision-engineered wafers crafted for one purpose: to deliver that perfect crunch. Imagine, if you will, a huge mixing room filled with industrial-sized mixers that make your kitchen hand mixer look like a toothpick. Each KitKat wafer begins with a carefully measured mix of flour, sugar, and water. The ingredients are combined until they reach a texture that's smoother than a silk sheet. The consistency has to be spot on. Too thin and the wafer won't hold up. Too thick and you lose that light, crispy magic. These wafers are so thin and perfectly crispy that you could probably use one as a stand-in for a playing card if you're running low. Once the wafer batter is ready, it's poured into a massive roller. And I mean massive. This machine looks like it could probably flatten a car if it wanted to. The batter is rolled out into thin sheets, each layer thinner than your smartphone screen. These wafer sheets are then baked to a golden, crispy perfection at temperatures that could probably toast your marshmallows in about 3 seconds. The baked wafers are then cut into rectangles, each one the perfect size for a KitKat bar. This process requires surgical precision. One wafer layer too thick or thin, and the entire batch could be off. It's wafer wizardry at its finest. Now, here's where things get a little freaky and a little genius too. Not only is this process eco-friendly, but it's also a bit like candy reincarnation. Ready to find out what happens to every KitKat that doesn't quite make the grade? The ones that maybe broke during production or came out looking like abstract art? Here's something that'll blow your mind. Every KitKat bar you've ever eaten likely contains bits of other KitKats, and not just any KitKats, but the ones that didn't make the grade. They don't get thrown away. No, these rejected KitKats get reincarnated as part of the filling for new KitKats. Yes, you heard that right. They're ground up into a wafer paste and then used as filling between the fresh wafer layers. So technically, each KitKat contains a piece of its ancestors. It's like a crunchy candy reincarnation cycle. The rejected KitKats live on in every bar. And that, my friends, is how KitKat wastes absolutely nothing. It's eco-friendly, delicious, and just a little bit spooky.
ウェハースのいい匂い。
ここはウェハースを焼くベーキングラインです。
キットカットに入っているウェハースも工場で焼いています。
ウェハースはそのまま食べてもとても美味しいんですよ。ウェハースにサンドクリームを塗って3枚に重ねます。
このクリームが美味しさの秘密です。ロボットが丁寧にウェハースを重ねています。
ロボットは正確に、そして早く作業をしてくれます。
完成したウェハースは次の工程に運ばれていきます。
Now, let's talk chocolate, shall we? Because, after all, what's a KitKat without its smooth, creamy chocolate coating? Why does the chocolate on a KitKat feel so different from any other chocolate bar? There's a little-known process involved, and it might just surprise you. Nestle, which produces KitKat, doesn't just settle for ordinary chocolate. Oh no, this is KitKat chocolate, a creamy blend of cocoa butter, sugar, and milk that's been perfected to flow like silk. Once melted, it's poured into a flowing river. Yes, an actual chocolate river. Willy Wonka, eat your heart out. The wafers take a little ride down the conveyor belt and are dipped, covered, and sometimes even bathed in this molten chocolate flow. And here's a fun fact for you. Nestle actually uses a process called tempering, where the chocolate is carefully cooled to create the perfect sheen and snap. This isn't just about making it pretty. It's about ensuring the chocolate stays solid, shiny, and doesn't melt too fast once it's in your hands. At this point, our wafers are dipped, coated, and looking like snack royalty. But there's one last assembly step before they're ready to face the world. This step, quality control. And trust me, KitKat does not mess around here. Each bar goes through a series of scanners, lasers, and yes, even artificial intelligence. These machines check every KitKat to make sure it's perfectly coated, properly sized, and has no defects. The lasers measure each bar with precision that could probably rival NASA's engineering labs. If any KitKat bar fails inspection, it's sent back to the Second Life filling team. And here's a fun fact. KitKat's assembly lines can produce millions of bars every single day. That's enough KitKats to stretch across entire countries. But every bar is still subject to the same level of scrutiny. There's a reason why KitKats all look like little clones of each other. It's all thanks to these high-tech quality control processes. All right, remember that first coat of chocolate? That was just the primer. Now it's time for the final chocolate coat, the one that gives KitKat its iconic sheen. Why 2 coats? It's not just for aesthetics. There's a critical reason behind it. Curious? Let's find out. Each bar goes through a chocolate waterfall, a curtain of molten chocolate flowing down in all its glossy glory. The coating process is mesmerizing. Each KitKat glides under the chocolate waterfall, getting a nice, even layer that covers every nook and cranny. This layer is applied with the precision of a Michelin-starred chef decorating a dessert. It's all about balance. Too much chocolate and you lose the crunch. Too little and well, it wouldn't be a KitKat. Now, here's a part of the process that'll make your ears perk up. It's called the snap test. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. KitKat isn't KitKat without that iconic crisp snap when you break off a piece. To make sure every bar meets that high standard, KitKat employs real people to snap bars at random. Imagine being one of these snap testers. It's like being a chocolate bar whisperer. They grab a KitKat, break it in half, and listen. If the sound is off, too soft, too dull, then that batch might get flagged for review. It's a delicate process, and it all comes down to the ears and instincts of these seasoned chocolate experts. The snap has to be just right. At this stage, the KitKats are finally ready for their last stop, the wrapping station. Think of this as KitKat's red carpet moment, where each bar gets dressed in its iconic red wrapper. And it's not just any wrapping machine. This thing is like the candy equivalent of a high-speed fashion show. Each wrapper is designed to keep that crunch as fresh as possible, with layers that protect the bar from moisture and air. The foil is crinkled, sealed, and stamped with the KitKat logo before the bars are placed into boxes for distribution. And if you think that's a minor step, think again. KitKat's wrapping process is actually one of the most advanced in the industry. Every wrapper is printed with the iconic branding that makes a KitKat unmistakable. Here's a quick detour before we finish our journey. Did you know that KitKat comes in over 300 flavors? In Japan, they have everything from matcha green tea and sweet potato to soy sauce and cherry blossom. Some flavors are so rare that people actually travel across the world to try them. After their stylish wrap, KitKats are carefully boxed, stacked, and prepped to embark on their global journey. And here's a crazy stat. KitKat produces over 17 billion bars a year. That's enough for every person on Earth to have at least 2 KitKats. They're shipped to every corner of the globe, ready to spread the joy of that irresistible snap and crunch. So, next time you take a bite of a KitKat, remember, you're enjoying a treat with nearly a century of history, perfected through science, magic, and a little help from KitKat bars that didn't make the cut. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss another amazing video. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.